Yo, it's your man with the plan. Marcel Lars here to talk about Persona 5, Scramble, the Phantom Strikers, and if it's worth your time. And before I start getting too deep into this video, I do have a video that I made maybe 5 or 6 months back where I really did a full review of this game, and I did it with Royale, and the first half is Royale and the second half is Scramble. So if you want to hear everything I have to say about the game and see a little bit of gameplay and just what my general thoughts about the story without making any spoiler comments or anything, you know, it's non-spoiler, so go over there and check that out. And for this video, it's the same thing. It's going to be non-spoiler. I am going to give you guys a general idea of what to expect in this game, and just like give you a little bit of my opinion on how I felt about the game overall. And that's that. If you want to hear more, click on that video down in the description below. So to start off, I like to start talking about, maybe I probably should start with the combat, because that's a big probably question a lot of people have about the game. How's the combat, and like, is it like, I guess Age of Calamity is out now. Is it like Age of Calamity, where it's just hordes and hordes and hordes of people, and because it's made by Koei Tecmo, you know, is that supposed to be a Warriors kind of style like game? Is it like that, or is it like a 3D Persona game? And like, how does it really work? So from what I played in Scramble, the system is kind of like, it is like Persona 5 3D. It's very much like Persona 5 3D. You go through the dungeon, you stealth and you sleuth, and you even hide, and you know, to do the same thing where you take the mask off of enemies and you know they spawn in. It's very similar to Persona 5, but in 3D, like a full 3D environment that you can jump and go to a lot of more spaces. Is it diverse? The puzzles are diverse as Persona 5 is. It's kind of diverse. It still feels like a Musou game deep down. It feels like the way when you sneak up on enemies, you rip the mask off and it spawns probably like maybe 30 to 20 enemies, or just one big boss enemy, which are really difficult. Like, I don't know if it's because I was missing something in the tutorial when I was reading it, but the big boss enemies are really difficult to deal with. And the game is very much designed, it feels like it's in between like a Platinum game and like a Warriors game. If you want to know the way the combat feels, it really does feel like that. There's times where I feel like, because it's like a Koei Tecmo Warriors game, it's a little bit not the most, like, it's a little stiff in some places. Like when you stealth around, I feel like sometimes you're just out of reach, or I feel like sometimes you can't completely control your attacks. Sometimes it's just a little bit of jank like there. Like, I would say like 95% of it's controllable, but I said there's like a 5% there that's like a little jank. But overall, it's really like impressive, and it feels like this is like, honestly, I thought, you know, you think Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity was like one of the biggest like achievements of mixing together two franchises, you know, the Warriors franchise and the Zelda franchise. But I gotta say, the way they mixed together the Persona franchise, or Persona 5 franchise, with the Warriors formula worked really well. It makes a lot of sense from what they are doing, like, with it, and it flows together really well. I do feel like sometimes, because because of the way they made the game, it's a little bit more difficult than I've said than a Warriors game, because most Warriors game, you can go through the crowd and you probably get hit once or twice, but you're pretty much fine. I feel like in this game, because it's more like a regular like adventure or dungeon crawler RPG game, I feel like sometimes your characters die easy. And if you guys get hit by like a special, like a super effective attack to your character, you know, like when they're weak to an attack, I feel like you are effed really hard, no matter what level you are. There's been times where, like, I use Yusuke, and then they use a fire, use Agi skills, and then automatically Yusuke's halfway down, and then he's paralyzed for like a nice 5 seconds. And in this game, that's everything, that 5 seconds, because then they shoot another attack at you if you're not careful. And you know, there's a lot of like the moments, like I feel like there's some SMT BS in the game, and it's not even an SMT game. But yeah, I really like the combat. The dungeon crawling, I feel like not the dungeon crawling. Sorry, the the open world, the hub worlds, the hub worlds. The hub worlds feel exactly like they do in Persona 5. And for those people who don't know about the story of this game, it is all across Japan. So this is you're traveling across Japan in this game. So it's probably what they had in the idea of Persona 5 originally. Because for those people who don't know, Persona 5 originally was supposed to be like a world globe-trotting game, and they kind of decided against it after a catastrophe happened in Japan, and a lot of people who probably research know what it is. I think it was something to do with, I think it was an earthquake or a nuclear reactor, and everybody came together to stop it from. I think it almost ruined the country. That I can't remember. It's such a long time ago when that happened, but they switched the game up from a world trotting game to make it Japan, like a Japan only type of game, or a Japan location only game. And the idea is kind of back where they travel around. It's still only in Japan, but I really like it. It shows a different side to the character, especially after all of them have done their little arcs and stuff. And that kind of brings up the second point that a lot of people have been asking me: is Royale canon to this game? And I gotta say, I'm not really sure. From what I read and what I saw, don't quote me on that, but from what I read and what I saw translated, it didn't really talk. I kind of talked about this in my review too. They didn't really talk about a lot of stuff from 5 in general. They only talked about the main villains, the first one and the last one that were human. And they talked about the final boss, and they didn't really talk about Akechi. They didn't really talk about Kasumi. They didn't talk about Maruki. And it's they didn't really talk a lot about the past that much in this game, from what I saw. And I don't think it's really trying to. I don't know if they did that on purpose or just how it came out, but I feel like it's probably a good thing, because if they come up with a fighting game I don't know, another arena game, that they can probably fill in that, Kasumi was on a trip on the, because she's training, she couldn't join them on the trip, or, this character's not here for this reason. I just feel like they don't really confirm or deny anything, honestly, in my opinion. But the last thing I kind of really want to talk about is the graphics. And I really can't talk to you about the Switch version, because I played this on PS4 when I imported it. The graphics are really nice, and the thing about the graphics is I feel kind of conflicted about some of the graphics. I feel like in some spots it's way better than Persona 5, and even the UI is better than Persona 5's. But then there's other spots where I feel like the UI was kind of okay. It was just okay, it was not as good as Persona 5. So it's the art style is there. It just feels like it was missing something, even though it was a little bit better. I don't know how to explain it, but when you guys ever play it, you'll see what I'm talking about. And it's probably because it's for Switch and PS4. They were we got to keep this, relatively, I don't know, cleaner looking than it has to be. I don't know. It didn't look as detailed or something. I don't know how to explain it in that. If you watch gameplay or my review or somebody else's gameplay, you'll see what I'm talking about. But the last thing I want to talk about is the voice acting and the music. So, honestly, I'll be real with you. Between the story and the voice acting, I cried. It was actually one of the first few times in a very long time a Japanese, only voice acting scene and Japanese only voice cast has made me cry. I don't know how to tell you that. The story and how it mixed together the voice acting made me cry. I normally don't cry from Japanese voice acting. It's just because I don't know the nuances of it, because I'm not Japanese all the way, at all. So I was about to say all the way through, but I'm not Japanese at all. So it just, I don't know, it hit different. And the voice acting was all good. I'm curious what they're going to do for the new characters, because I love the Japanese actors for the new characters. Actually, I think I like the Japanese actors for the new characters more than the original cast Japanese actors. But, I'm going to have to see. I think there was a video that came up to show some voice acting and stuff, so I'm going to watch that after this. And when it comes to the music, I'm not going to lie with you. I think I like this music a little bit more than Original 5's. I mean, that's just a personal opinion though, because some people, the original 5 has a different type of style to it than this one. This one's more upbeat than I would say with the original 5. It's like, think about the original 5's music, and all the new songs are a little bit more upbeat. And that's why I like it a little bit more, I think. I like upbeat music in my video games. I think there's a lot of dark music in a lot of video games. I think I had enough of it after playing 1,000 of them. So, I really like it. I really, really like Scramble. I do think that for some people it will be a little bit of acquired taste in some aspects. And some people might be disappointed that it doesn't like reference Royal really that at all, or like reference the past games to, like, a lot. It does reference some of it, but it's not like you know, whatever. And actually the story kind of follows the same beat as the original Persona 5. So if you're expecting something to be like a lot different, the story to be like hella different, like, oh, they're going to be fighting aliens in this game, you know, or something crazy, don't expect anything too much different. It's still the same old idea behind this game. So they did a really good job, you know, despite the fact to make it feel really different, even though I feel like there's some plot points that are repeated from the original 5 in this game. But yeah, I really, really, really like this game. I really think it is worth your time, and I'm really excited to see what the English version of this game has to offer. I probably am going to play this game probably on stream or something, since I already played it, or I'll figure it out what I'm going to do with this game. If I'm going to just do a coverage of English, because I already did a review on the game. So, but yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you guys have a great day. You know, leave a thumbs up and or a thumbs down, doesn't matter which one. It just helps me, you guys are watching. And also hit the subscribe button, a little bell icon to join the rebellion, because I'm a loyal bastard. And I will see you guys next video in the stream. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.